Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Wrestling Challenge Review Series for January 6th, 1991. Prime time, headed towards Royal Rumble 91. Royal Rumble 91, of course, the last Rumble that didn't really have stakes. 88 through 91, kind of just there. But we're kind of moving towards things that are more impactful. Hart Foundation opening up with some um, some enhancement talent stuff here. By the way, if you're looking for business, life, relationship, or entertainment coaching, including how to improve your wrestling career or other ways, the best way to do that, Golden Opportunities Coaching, my main channel. You can go over there and going to help some people this year. Tom Bennett and Bob Bradley are your adversaries here this week, and the WWF Tag Team Champions are the Hart Foundation. Of course, they won those at SummerSlam 90 from Demolition, and they are here through Wrestlemania. I've actually forgotten how long that reign was for them. Not that what August to April is a hugely long reign, or April, or March, but still, 6 or 7 months these days is a long reign by comparison. Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart, of course, multi-time tag team champions. Also notable that they are kind of working together quite well. Bret Hart hits a crossbody on Bob Bradley. Bob Bradley, who is a major part of the World Class Organization, and we have a 300 plus episode review series of that, by the way. Also, there's some new stuff from there that I may add to the collection here pretty soon. Just I saw a couple of the Cotton Bowl full events and that sort of thing up there. Anyway, Neidhart hits a body slam and comes in, hits a slam on Tom Bennett. They're kind of moving towards different teams. Still kind of doing something with Demolition. Still kind of trying to find a way around it. I don't think the Nasty Boys have been announced yet as the challengers for WrestleMania 7, but that's where it ends up going. And obviously that is a pretty big deal. Tag off to Bret. Bret again comes back in, this time for the heart attack finish. And 1, 2, 3, there we go. Obviously, Hulk Hogan declares on the Brother Love show for the Royal Rumble and promises to beat all 30 guys. And again, the Royal Rumble still, 88, 89, 90, 91. This is the 4th annual Rumble. Imagine a world without the Royal Rumble. Pretty big deal. Then we go to The Undertaker with Brother Love. Undertaker managed by Brother Love for about 2 months after his initial Survivor Series debut, maybe a little less. And then, of course, Paul Bearer takes over. But The Undertaker and Mr. Hunter here, everyone from kids to old ladies scared of The Undertaker at this point. Miss the time when gimmicks could inspire fear. Anyway, hard shot by The Undertaker. Undertaker sends the man in, and this enhancement talent takes a huge leap into the choke slam, which is really kind of cool, putting over The Undertaker really strong, and that's awesome. Undertaker, though, manages to choke out his adversary, and that is also pretty cool. They do a cliched box promo. When I say box promo, meaning in the side box on your screen. And then obviously Undertaker was still methodical, still hasn't found that complete cadence yet, but doing a good job with it nonetheless. Taker sends his adversary into the ropes, hits the flying clothesline. What I love about Taker in terms of psychology is, if you notice, he'll do, he does the choke slam, he does the tombstone, he does the rope walk. So he does like 3 or 4 moves, and they're all hugely impactful. But other than that, it's punch, punch, kick, kick. It's super basic, and he learns the cadence of maybe even only doing 2 of those. But he hits the tombstone, and away we go. Undertaker is victorious here. They hype the Slaughter and Warrior match. And you think about that. Warrior goes from April to January, as your champion, April of 1990 to January 91. Of course, Sergeant Slaughter winning at the Royal Rumble. Pete Sanchez, enhancement talent against Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake's still a babyface here. Um, kind of he has not gone into the match with the model as of yet. Hard tackle uh, by Jake Roberts, of course, the model Rick Martel, and he WrestleMania 7 do the blindfold match. They've done the angle where Jake got blinded and he kind of comes out of that and reveals himself to be able to wrestle again at Survivor Series, but they haven't blown off Roberts and Martel quite yet. And then of course he moves on to Jake to Earthquake and all that. Hard shots by Roberts. Roberts manages to kind of hit a hard clothesline, short clothesline, and then the DDT. Amazing to see Jake Roberts around, you know, 30 years later after this in AEW. Just amazing that sometimes being a part of the wrestling business never goes away. In any event, DDT 1, 2, 3, and away we go. Roberts obviously takes the snake out. Big deal there. They do some hype for a local area house show. Mr. Perfect, who is your Intercontinental Champion, challenges just about everybody. Bobby Heenan, still his manager. This is basically the last guy that Heenan manages, other than his involvement short term with Ric Flair and Lex Luger over the next couple of years. But the major Heenan family begins to disintegrate post-Perfect right around the summer of 1991. Ted DiBiase talks about getting even that way and has the $1 million belt. DiBiase and Piper hasn't really happened, but they're plugging in a matinee 1 p.m. show at the Boston Garden on January 12th, 1991. Wasn't at that particular show, but I've been to the Garden a few times. In any event, we end up going Nasty Boys. Remember we talked about them? They're building for their WrestleMania run here. Brian Knobbs, Jerry Sags, in an enhancement match. Of course, they are coming off Halloween Havoc 90 match with the Steiners, and that is their last major match. That Steiners match. Excuse me for my voice cracking here. Nearly 40, voice still cracking. I guess that's a good sign. I guess that means I sound young. Anyway, so I mean, Sags and Knobs, punch, kick, super basic. Then they kind of go into doing the pit stop and the power slam and the top rope elbow drop. I mean, basic stuff. Here, Nasty Boys, you gotta remember, they've only got maybe 5 years experience, if that, including the AWA. 4 to 5 years experience. So, I mean, they're not really seasoned veterans. They're going around, they're doing well. But at the same time, new to the company, new to everything. Jimmy Hart excited. Of course, he's their manager. Jimmy Hart excited about them. Then we go to a Warrior promo. Warrior says that he's ready for battle and war with Slaughter. Kind of an awkward promo as we are going to the Desert Storm conflict, which eventually becomes Desert Storm the War. Warrior and Slaughter on the collision course. Many people are looking back at that and wondering if that was the best of all options. But, I mean, hindsight's 2020. Can you really do much with it? Raymond Hammer is up next, and he is going to face off against an adversary. Now, interesting, Mike McGurk is your ring announcer. Just the reason that's interesting, where she is the daughter of Leroy McGurk, Oklahoma promoter, but at the time, she is one of the first, if not the first, female ring announcers in the era, and Slaughter is out here next. He's weeks away from winning the world championship. Punch, kick, super aggressive stuff. Has the curly-toed boots and General Adnan LKC, otherwise known as Billy White Wolf, at ringside. He is, carrying the Iraqi flag. Slaughter hits a backbreaker and gets things going pretty aggressively that way. And then he hits a sidewalk slam, another backbreaker. Hits the camel clutch, goes right after the guy, and then there we go. Hogan and Tugboat are going to face off against Dino Bravo and the Earthquake at the Boston Garden on that afternoon in just under a week. And they kind of talk about being partners. Eventually, from what Bruce Pritchard has said on his podcast, there was talk of Hogan and Tugboat as your main event for WrestleMania 7. That, however, obviously does not come together because Slaughter has come in. Chic Tugboat was where they were going. Glad they didn't go there because I don't think it would have worked out very well for anyone involved. Then we go to a Royal Rumble report. Of course, back then the Rumble had less matches than was, I guess you'd say, traditional, for lack of a better term. Um, you know, the Warrior and Slaughter is your big match here. I guess your world championship match. Legion of Doom, Natural Disasters in 1990. No, that's 92. So actually, one thing that's notable in this era is the the Rockers and Orient Express match that they do. That's probably considered to be one of the greatest Royal Rumble matches of the era completely, which is kind of ironic in one sense, in that it's a throwaway match that nobody really was thinking was going to be anything, but it ends up being something. Again, the 30-man Royal Rumble is your big challenge here. Of course, Hulk Hogan winning that for the second year in a row. Hogan, the first one to win two of them. And that's pretty major. I mean, at the time, of course, Hogan had been on top since the late 83, early 84. So by 1991, people getting a little tired of 7 years of Hogan on top. To think that Cena did almost double that on top is just amazing to my brain. But and they do the various challenges of nature, so to speak, with the Hulk Hogan gonna beat everyone at the Rumble and all of that. Then they do in leading up for one of the other matches on the Rumble, they do in fact, Ted DiBiase and Virgil promo, as Virgil is going to team with Ted DiBiase for the first time ever in the history of their relationship against Dusty and Dustin Rhodes. Of course, Dustin Rhodes, the son of Dusty Rhodes. They do a mock cowboy hat shoot where DiBiase steps in, well, what we assume is cow dung, and that leads to him being unhappy, and Virgil has to drop down to a knee and wipe off the boot of Ted DiBiase. Obviously, that's problematic and leads to the turn, so to speak, of Virgil, contributes to the turn eventually. But everybody from the Warlord to Earthquake, of course, one of the last two men in the ring, oddly enough, or one of the last three at the Royal Rumble, and oddly enough, the other person alongside with him, also a Jimmy Hart stable member, Brian Knobbs, who we saw earlier in this program. So it's just interesting who ranks at the time. Tugboat out there for the Rumble, the Undertaker for the Rumble, Undertaker in his first Rumble here in 1991. Bobby Heenan leading Mr. Perfect to the ring for an Intercontinental non-title match and an enhancement talent match. Of course, Hennig months away from losing the Intercontinental title in August and managing to take a good bit of time off, over a year actually. Some Irish whips by the enhancement talent. Enhancement talent gets a slam on Perfect. Perfect, of course, headed towards the Royal Rumble. I think he's in the Rumble match itself too, but has a mini feud, I guess you'd say, for several months with the Big Boss Man at the time, uh, culminating in a WrestleMania 7 match, which was rather anticlimactic in the sense of just intensity level. Hard shots by Perfect on his adversary. Stomps on the ankle, hits the Perfect Plex 1, 2, 3, and Hennig is without a doubt a hard guy to please. Um, then there's a promo with uh, the Power and Glory team. Power and Glory gets squashed in about 37 seconds with with the Legion of Doom at WrestleMania 7. Jake Roberts and Rick Martel are going to have a house show match coming up in Boston. And Roberts basically says that he is, Martel is blinded. We'll run down bits of the card here since it's available, just to give you a sense of what's here. Um, the Boston Garden, and actually, gotta grab my phone, so we'll close on that note. But until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.